Alright, time to go live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope... Is it playing an error? Okay. Okay. Are we getting started? Can you see me? Please tell me in the live chat. On the side. Can you hear me well? YouTube's telling me there's an error. Okay. Didn't work. What's this? It's public. It's starting with an error. The best thing ever. Okay. Let's see. Is it working now? It's working. Okay, sorry for the start. So, first time I'm using the new dashboard from YouTube. Let me show you. It looks like that. And so that's why I'm testing this out right now. But, hi, thank you for joining, as usual. Today we are going to work on artificial intelligence, on very super dumb artificial intelligence for the Metroidvania that you can see on screen. It's not a Metroidvania yet, but let me show you what the game looks like. So, at the moment, this is a game where you can use a hook to navigate around the world. You can slow down time and de-slow it down. You have moving platforms with a waypoint system. The video is coming really soon on the channel, and we've been working with that a little bit with the team before I left you all for a little while going on holidays. There we go. So, we are going to work on those kinds of things. Oh, interesting. Did I... What's that? Interesting. Okay, I'll have to fix that later because the focus today is on AI. Giving, taking damage with between the player and the AI agent. But first, we're going to work on patrolling behavior. And so this AI, what it's going to do is... say on one of these platforms, it's going to have a range between which it's going to try and move. But if it reaches the end of the platform, it's going to be smart enough to detect the gap and to backtrack. Alright, so I'm going to start with a new scene, and we're going to develop the AI in isolation. Something I recommend doing when you are working on a game. So we're going to create the AI as a kinematic body 2D in Godot. Come on. I'm not the freshest today, for a change. And we're going to call you Patrol Agent. Let's call you something like that. Save it straight away. We're going to put it in an AI folder and Patrol Agent for now. For now, our AI is just a point. It's going to get more interesting, don't worry. So, let me talk a little bit about code structure with good old Emacs here. Hello, handsome. So we have the task list, and so our AI, I don't want it to... I should have some drawing board. Let me bring Krita. I think it'll be more interesting. I want our AI to... Not all the code should be in the same place. So let's say we have the AI agent here, and this one is only going to have things like the ability to turn, or the ability to stop, detect, or stop, not detect, but what I mean is the AI agent has behaviors. And it's going to have some components, some tools attached to it that are going to send it signals. So for example, it could have some little, how could we do that? We can put a little raycast here in front of it, and the raycast is the thing that's going to detect the flaw. the flaw detector. And for the walls, it could have a little thing, well, it only needs to detect forward, really. So it could have another ray like that, being wall detector. And these things are going to do the detection work and just send a signal that will trigger, turn, or stop on the AI. Okay, so that we have separate components that we can reuse these wall and flaw detectors anywhere in the game on any AI, even if it isn't an AI that will turn or stop. Say you have an enemy that can fly at some point and you want it to be able to detect the flaws, that it can perch on something, on branches or something. It could reuse the flaw detector, but it doesn't need to stop because it's flying, it's not going to fall. See, that's the kind of idea well behind. So, I'm going to have first, the flaw detector shouldn't be just a raycast though. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm gonna go to the player scene and see how did I draw the player. I think it was, I could use just the collision shape though for the AI for now. Does it have some draw codes in there? No, I have a skin, body. Okay, it's the body script that actually draws the character. Okay. So my AI is going to merge from that. So my patrol agent, I'm going to merge from the player scene. Let me see, it should be in player. The player here. And I'm going to merge the skin and let me bring back the chat. If you have any questions, anything like that, go ahead. It's going to be a fun little rig. Okay, so I'm going to remove the camera rig here and remove the twin node. The skin here, I don't need that. Just need the body or the AI agent, and I want to use different colors. So I have some code to quickly draw the character in the game, so that I can do things like these. I don't have to open a program like Krita, save the asset, import it, all that stuff. I just drag and drop. It's not a node that's saved on the disk just yet, but I can, without leaving Godot, have some character drawn in there. And I'm going to add a collision shape for the AI. Alright, place it in the center here. I want it to be the size of that, same size as the drawing. Okay, it fits. I'm going to put it behind the body. And from there, let me see, because I have a few files to detect. So I have something called ledge detector. Let me look at the shape, because maybe we can reuse that as a base. Yeah, it detects like that. Okay, but flaw detector, yeah, flaw detector, I have it here. Let's see. It's not a scene yet, but it's on the player somewhere. Flaw detector. It's just a raycast. Okay, so I'm going to save the branch as a scene on the player. And then we'll be able... The advantage of using scenes like these is you can reuse these components. But on top of that, you can move them later in your file structure so that you can have a folder with detectors, for example, or AI utilities or things like these, and then you will have the flaw detector, ledge detector, and those kinds of things. You can see the structure of the player here. Flaw detector, ledge detector as well. These are separate from the player. The hook, the hooking mechanic, so that even not straight, but an AI with few changes could use the hook that the player moves with, actually. Because the hook doesn't directly move the character, it just hooks onto some point and returns a false towards that point. Okay, so flaw detector, we're going to have it on the patrol agent. It's going to be always in front of it. And so when the AI is going to turn around will move the ray to the other side. We have that, and we want to detect the wall, so check close to floor. Okay. We just check that it's set. The collision mask collides with world and hookable. Okay, it's going to detect all the floor and only with the bodies. Okay, does the job. So we're going to start with the AI just like that, just detecting the floor, patrol agent. I'm going to create a new script on it. Thanks for the kind words. Oh, 30 persons here. Nice. Moving forward, I want to schedule these live streams. I have to ask on Twitter when is the best time, as I'm in Japan right now, to stream for you, if it's the Japanese morning or the afternoon, evening. So, I want to have... Okay, so the AI is going to patrol between 2 points. Let's see, how do we do this? I'm going to take a pen and paper here because it's faster than drawing in Krita. You go away. Alright. So my eye has to go between 2 points. What I'm wondering is if we should draw them. I think I want to make it nice and draw in the viewport, and I can place the AI somewhere and give it a distance to walk towards and calculate like just a property in the inspector. So you would have the... I'm drawing really small though. Let me draw this a little bigger. So you would have the AI, and its origin would be the starting point, and you would have an arrow like that. Let's see. Like so. Just saying it's going to move in this or that direction. And I think that's fine. Just having one property setting the distance to the target. Alright. We're going to create an exported variable, target distance, and it's going to be a floating point value, let's say 400 pixels. Set get. We're going to redraw the character, redraw the path when we change that value. Set it as a tool script as well. So from the start, I'm going to have some drawing in the viewport. I want to update the variable. I wish we had a simple tool to generate these setters and getters. Okay, so we are going to update if engine.editor int, like so. So if we are in the editor, we're going to update the path. And so if we do that, we want a draw function. If we are in the game, we want to return from the function. We don't want to draw anything. But if we are in the game, we're going to do some simple drawing in there. So we are going to draw a circle at the start position, a circle at the end, a line in between, and the little triangle. Do I have some... Yeah, I have the drawing utils. Okay, I have some colors, but I don't have the draw triangle function. I have to add it there. Okay, so we are going to draw a circle, and I'm going to have some constant. Well, let's make some variables for that. We're going to have pretty large circles, 20, 30 pixels, so that you can see them. We are going to have line thickness. Let's do 12 pixels, okay, and something like that to start with. So we are going to draw two circles. One is going to be where the character is, so you can do vector 2.0 because the drawing position is relative to where the entity is in the world. For the radius, we're going to use draw radius, and for the color, I'm going to go in my drawing utils, and let's say blue deep. Then, okay, so target distance. I'm going to calculate on ready I'm going to have a private variable that's going to be target position that I don't want anyone to mess with directly, and this one's going to be equal to position plus a vector 2 made of the target distance up there, and 0. Well, let's just get 0 like that. And so now when we change the target distance, we are going to recalculate the target position. It's going to be equal to I need to store the start position of the character. It's going to be equal to its position at the start, and then target will also be an onReady variable, and it's going to be equal to start position plus vector 2 target distance 0. Okay, and we can reuse that little calculation then. Every time we change the target distance, we are going to update the target position for the character. Alright. And so, the second circle, we are going to draw it at target position and make sure that the target position exists. If it's equal to an empty vector 2, it's going to be we can't draw the second circle. It's not very interesting. So, and we'll have to do that thing. It's just safeguarding the code here. We have to update the drawing on ready again only if we are running the code from the editor. So that's a bit of a few of the things you might have to do when you want to have visual feedback in the editor, which might seem a bit painful at first because you have to do some setup code and to have some defensive code in there. But the thing is, when you are working on a game for a certain amount of time and for your teammates, having everything visible in the editor saves so much time. You don't have to try the game to know where the AI is going to patrol. And you don't want them to have to run the game and to always change the value and wait for the AI to move to the endpoint before it comes back. No, here it's going to be drawn directly in the editor. We're going to have the two circles, and then we're going to have a line. So from vector 2.0 target position, the color is going to be drawing utils dot color blue light, and I'm going to put it under the circle. So I'm going to, when you draw from the first thing that you draw, and you stack layers on top. So you want to, the order in which you call the drawing functions are going to tell what's in front of what. In this case, if I draw the 2 circles after the line, they are going to be in front of the line. Okay, and the width is going to be line thickness, the variable that we have at the top. I'm intermediate in Python. I have a game idea. Should I try Godot? I don't know what intermediate means, but sure, you can try working with Godot, have some fun. It's a nice game engine. See if it works for you. GDScript is not like Python because you don't have the standard library. It's not meant to work the same way, but it's a simple language in general. So if you have some programming basics, you can come from any language. Anyway, when you learn a game engine, it's the programming language. It's not a big deal. It's the engine that's important. That's the thing that you have to learn. And all the functions, ready, draw, those kinds of things I'm doing here, calling the draw line, draw circle, etc. Everything is specific to Godot. Okay, so you draw circle and save, and let's see. In the viewport, it does not work. What's happening? Valid operands nil and vector 2. What's that? Okay. Ah, there you go. I just had to... Whoa! Oh, that is big. Okay, let's make you a bit smaller. 20. I forgot that I'm always working zoomed in. Alright, so the point of that is mostly to show that if I set the value to something else, it does not work. Why is that? Engine.editor hint. Okay, let's see. Let's try to force it to redraw. Okay, there's an error on line 30. Equals start position plus vector 2 target. Okay, so start position is nil. Okay, so first you should be of type vector 2. It's not correct. It can't be of null type if I force the type to be vector 2, my friend. Okay. Okay, now it's working. It's just automatic type detection that had a bit of a hard time detecting the value of position. Probably because when you first start the scene, the character doesn't exist yet, and so the position value does not exist yet, so it can't infer the type from that. Okay. Alright, so is the music level okay, by the way? Please tell me in the comments below. No, in the chat. Not in the comments, in the chat. So I have some code to draw triangle. Let's find triangle here. Okay. And so I do have to get that function, draw triangle here. I'm going to move it to, yeah. Complain all you want. I'm moving you to the drawing utils script. Actually, I have a draw circle outline. Okay, I do have to add the object I'm going to draw on. Did I code that? Interesting. doesn't read like me, but well, let's do that for now. Okay, so waypoints, let's find draw triangle. I'm just moving a function I had created. No, not. I'm going to pass self. Okay, and then I'm going to do this something similar here. So drawing utils, default. What? What's the matter? Vector 2. If I pass. Okay. Yeah, forgot that BRGD script. I have to give a default value to everything. Radius float equals, oh no, 10. Okay. And that should be it. How about the colors? Radius, colors before, hold on, you have the radius, okay, and color is after that, and I'm going to allow you to specify the color of the triangle. Okay, and so back to my waypoints, I also want to draw the color. Triangle. Alright, and it's on drawing utils. Okay. I'm going to copy that to my patrol agent. Not really necessary, but the triangle is going to tell us in which direction the AI is going to move. So that if you input a negative value on the target distance, you're going to see it will move left instead of moving to the right. Now I have to calculate center. Well, I'm going to do it like that. Triangle. And I'm going to calculate center. It's going to be target position divided by 2. And the angle is going to be the sine of target position dot x. So the angle is going to be sine of target position dot x, and it's going to be 1 or minus 1 times let's see. Do you mind if I make some coffee? I'm in the kitchen here again. It's a bit of a scheme in GD Quest. My office happens to be in the kitchen. I'm just going to finish that and I'll make a quick cup of coffee. So, sine of the target position dot x, so it's going to be 1 or minus 1. How do I get an angle from that? Oh, I get the cosine of that. There you go. No, this is a cosine, a cos of that. And should return an angle. There you go. And line width. My triangle is going to be how big? Let's make it the same as the circle radius. Hold on. The draw radius. And triangle color, we're going to leave it to the default. Non-static can only be called from an instance. What? Do I have to make you static? Well, it gets parameters for everything, so I guess I can do that. Weird. Normally there should be an instance of that. So drawing utils is a singleton. It's a node that is loaded in every scene. It should be globally accessible. Right now, Godot is complaining because, well, sometimes you have to reload the scenes or things like these. Not sure exactly. What's the problem? Did I forget to save something? Okay, I have a magic thing. You restart the game when you get little thing messed up like that. There you go. So, why is the triangle the other way around? By the way, let me check if color dot. Ah, I do have color names. Cool. So we're going to draw a white arrow. Let's update the drawing. Okay. Now, why is that when I do arc cosine? Yeah, that gives me the angle should be okay. So I take the sine of target position dot x, which should be positive. So it should be 1, and our cosine should return 0. Then, but angles in Godot, where do they start already? I always forget. Do I have to add pi? Well, let me see how I draw the waypoints or how I calculate the angle. Last point angle to point position. Let me just see. Tenku is asking what am I making right now. I want to prepare some board to put on the live streams or something to so you have it in the title, Patrol AI, but drawing the path the Patrol AI is going to walk. I shouldn't have started with that. I should have swapped the order, but I was going to check the game scene. There we go. Yeah, the angle is correct here. So let me see my drawing utils. How do we calculate? Plus 2. Yeah, because I calculate the points here, but normally the base angle is okay. Okay. All right. This is part of the things I do. Ah, come on. Well, draw line, base, kinematic, body 2D. Okay, that issue is here again with line 22. Yeah, target position is giving us some trouble once again. Maybe. Okay, so I have to specify it's a vector 2 once more and reopen it. I had not saved that instruction, and now we get this. So the whole point of this code we've seen until now was to be able to do this. So now I can, in real time, let's see, I can slow down, and it's a little slow though. Okay, so I can see where the AI is going to walk, and so the whole point is that you are designing levels, let's say, and why it's worth spending 20 minutes, I don't know how much time it took, but a little bit. The whole point is you have the AI here, and you want to see that, okay, it's going to try to walk a little too far, so it's going to get to the platform. We will have some mechanics to make the AI backtrack if it's trying to go too far, but that's going to target distance. And if you are on much longer ground and the AI is not going to move far enough, you can instantly see it. You don't want to waste too much time with that. Launching the game, watching the AI walk, you want to have the feedback instantly in the game, in the editor. All right, please allow me to make coffee. I'll be right here with you. I'm just going to, it's going to be really quick. Anyway, it's the fault of whoever, sorry, I'm a little far down. If I'm making coffee, it's the fault of whoever said they were having morning coffee. There we go. Blame them. I'm going to take a few moments to then talk about. I'm here, by the way. Hey. Just going to take a few moments to talk about what's coming now. And there are a few videos coming on the channel. You're going to have one devlog from the game. You're going to see as well the... where's the drip? Ah, there you go. There you are, my friend. And there's one video coming that's a pilot tutorial for the course. You may or may not have seen it, but I asked people to give us feedback on what they'd like, how we could improve the tutorials on GD Quest, those kinds of things. So we really want to keep making better and better content, refining the formula. So I made a report that's available on the repository for this project, link in the video description, in the live stream's description. And I've made a tutorial based on that. Which is coming next week. A few more videos along with that. What else? And I want to make while we are preparing the next course, I'm going to do a few live streams, I think, because every video that we would make on top of that takes time away from producing the course. There's going to be 3 videos as part of it. The only thing is when you prepare a series like that, you have to pre-produce everything and then enter production a bit later. All right, so we have our AI. That was the worst part is there's probably more drawing code than movement code. Movement is going to be quite simple. Actually, I have a moving platform, and I'm going to copy some code from that. So I do change its position directly and not move. I should really move the platform though. I'll have to change that later. But okay, we're going to use physics process on this one. Okay, let me get hot water. Ah, coffee. So Japanese style, making your individual drip. We use that to make coffee. Heat up the beans and then slowly pour water over it. Okay, so the character should have some other exported variable. Speed. It's going to be set it to 300 pixels per second. Yeah, sorry for that, I'm KO once again today. The worst part is I was on holidays last week. I actually came back more tired than when I left. Okay, so we have a movement speed and do we keep the direction? Yes, we're going to keep track of the direction. like so. Alright, and the AI is going to move towards the right by default. So, on every tick, we're going to move the AI by direction times speed. So the motion is going to be equal to speed times direction, like so. This direction times it smells so good. Beans from Brazil this time. Sikaras is here. I'm here for 2 months. I think that's what we talked about last time. Came back for a woman. She's not Japanese though. And so I'm here for a month and a half now. And Ben probably won't be able to come back to Japan for a little while. Probably at least 2 years or something, if things keep going the way they are headed. Okay. Saúde. Oh, salud, as they say. Really good. These beans are excellent. So, we are going to move the character, move and slide. Yeah, I have to use the velocity. It's going to be speed times direction, and we are going to move based on that velocity. We could keep track of the velocity instead of recalculating it and keeping track of the direction. I like to do things that way though. So, we want to move the character on every tick. Then we want to check if the character is within its start position and the target position range. Only on the x-axis actually. So, and of course I have to move based on a vector too. So, all right, well, I'm going to check if position.x is within. Come on, I don't like when that happens on lives, having that time where your attention goes down a little bit. Unfortunately for me, it doesn't happen at a reliable time every day. So how are you doing, by the way, Ruben? Or Sekuras, rather. And Ismi as well. It's been a while. Okay. I'm thinking because the target position could be negative on the character. So I have to check. Okay, so let's take target. Come on. All right, let's just handle the simple case because my head's getting a bit nebulous right now. So we're going to set position back to Hold on. It can hit a wall. Well, the wall and flaw detection will come later. Let's start with the basics. Position.x equals target position.x and we're going to negate direction. All right. So the problem is the position can go in the negative. So I want to use the absolute value. There we go. You were in Nagoya today. Okay. I wish I can. I really hope I can come to Tokyo one time before leaving, but it's been a month and a half. Time's flying by. Really flying by, and I'm not sure. I don't really have much to do in Tokyo right now, so. Someone's asking what's the purpose of the arrow with void. It means the function does not return any value. So when you type that function from another script, Godot will show you that it's of type void, that you don't get any information from it. It performs an action if you want, but that's it. Okay. So. We have to... Do we mutate the target position every time? I think instead of keeping track of the direction, the way we are going to do it is calculate it. That way it will be a bit more reliable. So the character's direction is going to be the sine of, and we are going to take target position dot x minus position dot x. We are moving towards that position. We take the sine of that, so that way we don't have an extra variable that we need to change every time. And so let me think, because that can be dangerous. Well, the character is always going to move from 0. Of that condition, I'm thinking now that there's an edge case where if you have a speed that's high enough and a patrol range that's low enough, there's one case where you can mess this up. In most cases it shouldn't happen, so that should be fine. I mean, you shouldn't have an AI that walks 10 pixels at 1000 pixels per second, so... Okay, and we mutate target position then. How do we reliably change this one? We want to switch it between the start position and start position plus target distance, right? Target position dot x equals if the direction aligns with target distance, which is going to set where the target is, it means that if it's there while going to the right, we're going to set it to minus target distance, or start position dot x minus target distance. Else it's really a lot harder to code actually on the live stream. Hold on. If the two align, can't I directly set this to plus minus direction times target distance? You are going in a certain direction. You want the character to turn around. You multiply direction by -1, and that should do the trick. So that should give us a patrolling behavior. And the AI isn't affected by gravity at this point. Okay. So there we go. Almost. Yes, it seems to be working. The only thing is, because I'm using start position. Yeah, I want to patrol between start position and. Okay. Hey, seriously? Ah, that's so nice. Thank you very much for the. How do you call that? Top chat? Super chat? Let me see, because what does the colon at the end of the variable name do? It forces the variable to use a certain type. So these colons, and I don't write anything after that, because based on what's after the equal sign, Godot is going to pick the type for us. But if I want, I can say this should be an integer in this case. If you use the signed value, control click on it, you're going to, it returns a float. Okay, so it's going to be a floating point value, but maybe I can automatically cast it to an integer there. But for example, when I use a vector2 here, I could type, I want the velocity to be a vector2, and then after the equal sign, I write it again. I call the vector2 constructor, which returns, you can see on the method here, it returns a vector2. Hold on, I can. Doesn't work? There we go. It returns a vector2. And so because of that, I can remove the type hint and Godot will figure it out by itself. Doesn't always work, but it can work. Okay, so excuse me. Okay, we can try to mutate the value directly like that. We're going to get a slight, maybe floating point error if we do that, instead of reliably picking between the start position and the target. There are calculations we can use to pick between the start position and the start position plus target distance. Minus direction. Okay, we basically want to pick what's farthest from the character at this point. So we could I don't see how I can do it without an if statement. So instead, I'm going to use minus equal direction times target distance. And now I'm going to move my patrol agent in the view. Am I moving that? Yeah. So that you can see it gets stuck. Did I tell you I'm a professional developer? Yeah, that's the donation is huge. I mean, it's $50, 5,000 yen. Popori, are you based in Japan? Stickeras was asking that, but wait. And yes, Ruben, if you come to Nara, message me anytime. So I'm here until July 14th, and you are welcome. You have a guide if you want to. And if you want to attend a local game dev event or something like that at some point as well, tell me. Is typing used for editor checking? That's what target can be based on the player, which could change, should be recalculated each turn. Now the target position is relative to the agent start position. And so I'm not sure, committee reflux, I'm not sure what your last comment is, like or use editor checking. Not sure what you mean, if you can clarify that. And yes, Ruben, I'm leaving in a month and a half. And then I won't be back in Japan for a while, probably. Hopefully, I'd like to come back to live in the future, but it will take some prep work. Let me see, why does it get stuck? If get past the target position, the absolute, yeah, but the absolute value of the because we want to go back to 0. Of course this condition doesn't hold anymore. Come on. It's not like I've coded this thing multiple times before. Right. Okay, simplest way to do this. Okay, so I want to go back to the start position. I'm going to use simpler statements. So start. Okay, so we're going to have waypoints, and it's going to be vector 2. Okay, well, I'm going to change the way I code this. So we're going to have a start and an end x position. The starting point is going to be a position.x, and the endpoint is going to be position.x plus the target distance. Okay, so I'm going to have two positions. And the current target position for the character is going to be waypoints.x. Well, it's going to be waypoints.y. Or waypoints, can I access here as an array? Look, you know what? Waypoints, it's going to be an array, like so. Or dictionary. It'd make a lot more sense to have this as a dictionary, actually. Keep the code clean. And we're going to have start. Okay. And end. Alright, so it's going to be equal, its target position is going to be a floating point value. It's going to be waypoints end, waypoints dot end. I think I can access the value like that. Alright, then. Let's see if this works. So, so while going in a given direction, I think I can do a calculation like that. So if okay, target position minus position dot x is lower than 0, means that we got past that point and we want to turn around. There we go. Target position is going to be equal okay, so target position minus position dot x. Target position is going to be equal to waypoints that start there we go. Hold on. Hold on, I've got to make a few fixes to the drawing code. All right, that should fix the snap. Wait. Set the target distance. Wait, what is target position now? Both waypoints dot end. Yeah, we have to recalculate. It's waypoints dot end to recalculate, and it shouldn't be waypoints that start plus target distance. All right. Okay. Excuse me. Have a good day, good evening, Ruben. This video will be available in replay. Just curiosity, but Popori-san, I don't know. Ruben was wondering if you were Japanese. Let's see. I don't know. I'll write in Japanese. I was asking earlier, didn't get a reply. Oh. Maybe I missed the answer earlier. I'm sorry if that's the case. But as Ruben was saying, there are few Godot users in Japan. People use Unity for the most part. Okay, so we get past target position. You are studying in Japan, okay. Thanks, Ismir. And Nico is asking what engine do you recommend for my next 2D project? I mean, Construct 3 is going to have JavaScript support, which is nice. Construct 2, working with events like that, the way you code is not very flexible. There are lots of things where you're really shooting yourself in the foot by using a tool like that, and you only realize that when you start coding and gain a bit of experience. You start realizing that changing a variable is so much faster when you type the code. But lots of things, loops, arrays, manipulating data, lots of things are much faster when you type the code. And there are lots of things you can't do in Construct 2. Try Godot, see if you like it. I mean, it's the one engine I use. I can only say it's good. I can't really say which one you should use because that depends on you, on your projects, on your experience. Godot is flexible, it's free, you can try it at no cost, so... Yeah, exactly. So as Nico is saying, he's working with Construct 2. As the game gets bigger, it's getting harder to organize. You don't get that issue with when you code with something like Godot, you get more flexibility, so you can rearrange the code, or you can use different constructs in your code to improve the structure. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked now. And the restaurant downstairs is opening. If you're hearing that cringy sound, it's going to stop soon, but... Or if you are cringing at the sound, sorry. Alright, target position is going to be equal to waypoints at start. If is roughly equal to okay, not great, but so if we get past the target position, we update it. Let's see. How unfortunate. So where did I mess up? It's not working. Target position minus position X is lower than 0, so we get past the target. So we move the character. We check if it got past the target position. If that is the case, yeah, of course, if I update the target position first. Hold on. Ah, come on. How come I'm messing this up? It's the stream malediction. I'm losing my English. Everything is... I'm going to... No, I can't make that joke. Sorry, French humor was starting to come out. Okay, I'm leaving this to you, people from the live stream chat. Please help me. What am I doing wrong? Oh, come on. So. Moving the character. Get past the target. Yeah, curse. Thank you. Hold on. Why is it looping like that? What am I... This is so silly. Come on. They're drawing bugs as well. I was trying to run in the editor as well. I should make sure. Well, it's nice to have it work in the editor actually. Apparently little upload issue right now. Okay, patrol agent. Let's see. This is funny. Wonder if the temperature plays a role. Maybe I should have put the air conditioner on a little bit before starting the stream. It's getting pretty hot inside of here. I'm starting to, well, I'm not starting, I've been sweating a bit for a while. So, let's put a breakpoint and observe, and observe the values. Okay, so we hit that target position, 965. Yeah, it's based on the character's positions. Okay. Position, the character's position is going to be at. We have the velocity, target position. Let's look at the object here and so the position, I've set it to the target position. And then here, target position is equal to waypoint at start. Let's see waypoints. Where is it? So it should reset target position. Waypoints at start. Let's add a print statement just here so I can read that value. That's what I should have done from the start. So we do that, reach the breakpoint, and there we go. Target position resets to waypoint at start. Now the question is, why does this direction on the next frame, I'm going to add a breakpoint here, step through the game, so direction should be -1. The character's position should be still, at this point, 935 on the x-axis. Is it? It is. Look at that. Direction is -1. And so the velocity, do I get it? It's null. Speed times direction. It's not been... Okay, so let's add... actually, that's why. Okay, we're going to step. One step, velocity is -300, 0. I move the character based on the velocity. And if target position... there you go. There you go. Okay. Problem is target position minus position, because the character is right of the position. This value is always negative. And so... what do we do? If the sign, this value, is not equal to direction, then you switch. Yeah, and so I want to clear these. Okay. Let's restart. There we go. That was my condition. That was wrong. Should have used the debugger from the start. Alright. Whoa. Yeah, because it's trying to run. Okay, in the engine.editor hint, set physics process to false, so that the character doesn't get too messed up. Alright. I really have to check that drawing code. Please excuse me for that long bit of time. The stream will be uploaded to the channel automatically. I take it that starting methods or variables with underscore. Comedy Reflux is asking about things like underscore ready. For Godot, the convention, most of the time it means that the method is virtual, so that you are supposed to override it. And in Python, in general, it means that a variable or a method is private, that you should not call it manually. And it happens that the virtual methods in Godot are also more or less private. You don't want to call ready, the engine is going to do it for you. So in general, we applied that. If you see, for example, my target position starting with an underscore, consider that it's a private variable. I don't want my teammates to mess with that, right? I could do the same with waypoints here, but not the exported variables like speed and target distance that you should be able to change more or less on the fly. Okay. Starting to feel really KO, so I think I won't keep that up for too long. But okay, so the character is going to move in a given direction. I also want to have how do I make... I was talking about... That's so stupid. Sorry. I missed something. I said I wanted to have some function like turn that would make the character turn around. So we're going to use that. Well, we're going to use that here. Remove the empty prints. Okay. Alright, so we have a function to make the character turn around, because if it does not detect the flaw, if there's no flaw under the character, we want it to turn around. Also want some gravity to apply to it. Right, so gravity is going to be equal to, say, 1000, 0. There you go, so the move and slide using the velocity, and alright, we're going to use that to keep the AI on the floor if it falls from a platform. Alright. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to get the Flaw Detector. It's going to be a recast 2D, and it's going to be equal to. We're going to get the Flaw Detector node. I want to add that as part of the stream, as I said I would, to wrap things up. So if Flaw Detector dot well, not close to the flaw, so that you don't have the flaw, you are going to turn. Okay. So if you reach a ledge, there are also some shortcomings to the agent as it works now, but let's see. I'm going to put it in the game world. One issue with that agent, the way I coded it right now, is how it's for example, if I was to place it like that, it has to fall one time. It's not too great because it's going to try to turn mid-air continuously, because it's not very smart. What's the problem? Waypoints that start and end. What? What's the problem? Is it an... Oh, it's an unready variable, that's why. Ah. Okay, I think, well, instead of using the position, we're going to use 0 and the target distance. Okay, I see some of the issues I was having. Whoa. The AI is having fun. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to remove the gravity for now. Hold on. Yeah, the problem is I really need to use the agent's position. Okay, so I'm going to use that. Do we have something like checking if something is ready? Yeah, that's always the problem with setters before the ready function. Okay. Come on. Oh, can I make this on? I'm not sure it's going to work if I use the onReady keyword. So this should be onReady. Target position is an onReady variable, but still it calls. Okay, so I have one error here because I have a setter on one variable, and when you use, there we go, here, a target distance. When you use a setter like that, it's going to call the function automatically at the start when the object is constructed before it's even added to the scene. But before it's added to the scene, it doesn't really have a position yet, I think. I don't think I can do that. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to safeguard. But come on, I need to call this. Okay, so I'm not going to calculate waypoints.end there. Waypoints is only going to be calculated at the start of the scene. Alright, so now I have the gravity. What if I remove it? Whoa. Why are you bugging like that? This is probably not returning the value I want. So the flaw detector is probably not detecting the flaw properly. There you go. That's working. Alright, so I'm going to add the gravity back. It doesn't collide with the... Hold on. My AI is ignoring the flaw right now. I think I didn't set the collision layers probably. Okay. This is going to be whatever, but it's going to collide with the world. Already, alright. At least it's working. And gravity is an acceleration, so I've got to change the calculation here to ground it. Oh my. I don't understand though why the flaw detector is not working. So it collides with these things. And normally... that might be why, because it's disabled. It's close to the floor, return. And that's because in the other one I was using get floor position IC. So I have to enable it. Okay. Now I can add this code back like that. Okay, so it's going to turn, but there's one problem. It's that the flaw detector ray should change direction. How do I do that? How do I change the direction of this? Okay. For now, I think I'm going to add a new intermediate node, position 2D, and I'll call it pivot. Flaw detector is going to be a child of that pivot, so that I can, when I turn the character, I can change the scale of that pivot node, and it's going to swap the flaw detector around. Now flaw detector is going to is a child of pivot, so I've got to update the path. And so when we call the turn function, we are also going to change the scale of our pivot scale x times equal -1, so we invert it. I'm also going to add it at the top of my script. All right, there you go. So we have a patrolling AI. So I'm going to explain again how this works. An AI that can not only move forward, but that can also... Whoa, interesting. The drawing is completely messed up. All right, I'll have to work on that with a bit of a more rested mind, clear ideas of what is happening. But we have a patrolling agent, and it's going to move forward to towards a target. But say the thing is, when you have AI, if you want, you have a platform here. Let's say you have a second one, and you want to be able to destroy it, and the AI should be able to move, but it should be smart enough so that if it detects a gap, it should turn around and go back to its original position. But if the platform is here, it should go to the target, for example. So that's the kind of AI we're trying to build. Very basic one. Here how you can do this. So you use the raycast 2D node, you place it in front of the AI, and you check that that node is colliding with something. It has a bit of a length to make sure that even if the AI at the start of the game is not right on the platform, but it's a little above the platform, you detect that there's a flaw under it. So it can land on that, move forward, and then turn around and do that zigzag motion. All right? From there, every time you detect that there's nothing under that raycast, it means, and you have to set the collision masks on the raycast to make sure that you are checking for the platforms under it. When you have nothing under it, then you tell the patrol agent to turn around. And yeah, considering how inefficient I am tonight, I'm going to call it a day for now. Hold on, I forgot to check the chat for a little while. Is inside tree. Thanks, Valentine brother. Set the cast to minus position. the cast of the Ray. Well, anyway, yeah, I'm not very fresh tonight, so I'm going to close it here. Thank you very much for joining. There's going to be more tutorials now, some videos scheduled, and I'll do some more live streams. But next time I will ask you beforehand at what time it would be best. So I'll put a poll on Twitter. And yeah, that's about it. You can find the project on GitHub. You have a link in the video description on YouTube. Let's see. There we go. And there's already a little bit of content in there. We've been working a bit on the level design, testing out things. The character controller got the most work for now. Moving platform with a waypoint system, those kinds of things. And I'm planning the course on the side as well, to get it started as soon as possible, while getting close enough to the point where I'll be able to get started on videos, but still got a little bit more code and design work to do. That said, thank you kindly for watching. Be creative, have fun, and let's see one another in the next one. Bye-bye.